Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Lighting Your Sunshine, where we like to shine a light within and empower ourselves. So for today's reading, we already pulled the cards, went off on their adventure, and we're coming back to it now. I did a little bit of reflecting, and I still find it very confusing. So I say let's just hop in, let's take it slow, and hopefully the message comes out. So the very first card up was the Well of Erd, and the two decks that they had us use was the Viking Oracle and Botticelli's Tarot, which is all based on like Renaissance paintings and Vikings. So I thought that was kind of interesting because like first instinct is like, well, Vikings love to go and like pillage other like countries, take all their art and their gold and their jewels. And I never quite put that into the thought of this reading until just this second. So maybe there is a bit more of that to this, and actually it kind of makes sense a little bit in some areas. So maybe this might unfold a bit easier. So yeah, the Well of Erd. And so what is that? So the Well of Erd is pretty much destiny. It's the waters at the base of the Yggdrasil tree, which is the tree of life. And so there are like 3 sections. And us as humans, we're in the middle section. We're more in the, how they believe, the trunk. They call it Midgard. And so there are other realms and things to work through. But that's where we are. This is the tree. And then at the bottom of the tree, there's the Well of Erd, and it's healing waters of life, and it's it's associated with the Norns. So the Norns are at the base of the tree. They're the ones kind of like in the roots, and they're like weavers of destiny. So there's 3 of them. It's like 3 sisters, the Norns. And so it's kind of like past, present, future energy is what they do. And so they take energy and they can foresee things. They can see things in a much bigger picture. Because when you're so enthralled in something and it's all up in your face, you can't really see. But when you take a step back, that's what they see. They always see a bird's eye view. And they take the energies and they weave it to how it's meant to be. So I do feel like this has to do a bit with fate and destiny and things like that, but with someone missing the whole point. That's what this reading is giving me. So we got the destinies and the waters, but it was in reverse. So it's like someone's not even, you woke up today with this new chance, this new opportunity to make today the best that you can make it. And I see someone, so this also went with the other card. It was the 6 of Swords. And so someone's kind of sitting in their house, in their apartment. And here, normally 6 of Swords is like travel, trips. Is the ship going or is it coming? If it was coming in, then you're getting your victory or your prize or whatever you've been waiting for that's past due. If it's going away, then you're going off on a new adventure. So this destiny was in reverse because whoever this is, they're only sitting in the window and they're not a part of anything. And they've got strong emotions, but they're not actually dealing with anything. They're not doing the healing work to calm the mind and figure out what the root of that is. It's just like I see someone's just really wasting a very important opportunity right now. And I see this person being even harder on themselves down the road when they finally understand what this moment was teaching them. Being harder on themselves for not just being happy now. And it's so subtle, but they're so focused on things that are so outside of them that my question for you is, what is the point of your life at this moment? Why did you get to wake up today? And you woke up for a reason. What is that reason? Stop wasting it thinking I'm just going to sit still until something better comes, because it's not going to happen like that, and it never will. It's because you have to build the energy and the everything in you. Everything is an inside job all the time. So if we get into the cards, the first one that comes out is Freya, and she's the goddess of fertility, right? She's the harvest and the grain and femininity, right? All those kind of things is what's coming up. But with the card associated to it, it was the 10 of Cups. And that would have been a beautiful energy together, but the Cups was in reverse. So somebody has this longing of something that they want to go out and do, and they're not doing it. Instead, they're like shoving their emotions down, avoiding whatever that feeling is. I am picking up a bit of a motherly energy from this. And so not for everyone, but I do get that somebody, like your kids are trying to get your attention, and you're not even paying attention to them. It's just like you're so stuck in this thoughts of the future. I feel like it's more future than it is past. It's not quite being stuck in the past, but being so stuck in the future that in this moment now, it's a complete write-off. It is such a waste, and Spirit's like, why? Just go back to bed if you're not gonna do anything. If you're not gonna do anything and you're not going to even try to work through those emotions, try to make your day better, if you have no intention of any of that, just go back to bed and rest. That's their advice. Because over here we have the 3 of Wands, and 3 of Wands is usually about victory, right? It's ribbons and happiness. And what do we get from here? The roses are what's standing out to me that she's holding. And it's like so much blooms have happened that, you know, there was all this abundance of petals that she was able to gather in this moment. And what I'm still seeing is someone in the house, and they haven't even smelt a flower. They haven't even been outside. They don't even know what's going on in nature right now. They don't even know what's going on in the world. It's just like they wake up and they just sit there day after day, waiting for someone to come and change their fate or their destiny. Which now puts the Sun in reverse, Soul. Which is interesting enough, because in most stories, the Sun is a masculine energy. But in the Vikings, Mani is the moon. That's the masculine energy, and Soul is the feminine. So now we've got Freya. We've got the Sun, which is also feminine energy. I see someone. Okay, I see lots of people, to be honest. One person, they're worried about the job in the future, but you already know what to do because, you know, we've talked and you already know what to do. So that energy is coming up in here, but we're not going to touch on that because you know. And then there's another person coming through that it's like they're just waiting for a relationship, right? They want that 10 of Cups, happy ending, kind of victory, going out in public, and it's because they want to just be so open and loving and nurturing. And Spirit's saying, like, you don't need that partnership to come in order for you to be that open and loving and nurturing person. Does that make sense? Like, you are that person, so you go out into the world and you admit that joy, and then that's when the connections come, where you can give more of that. But I see this person trying to stop whatever it is they're feeling, because I don't know, they're not allowed to. They have to sit. They have to sit and wait. I just see someone sitting at their desk with like their hands like this, just like elementary, being a good kid. But Spirit's like, that's not the point. Shake things up. Let's go. Let's go. So interesting enough, we had Soul in reverse, but then in the next line, we had the Sun upright. So someone's not doing the things that they want to do. They're not being their authentic self and going out there. And I feel like this person feels like they have to show emotions one way or be one way, but really they're another way. And that can be showing your wild side. Maybe you want to show that you're always like the good person, but you got a little bit of wild side and you want to just kind of go run free. Admit that and embrace that. For another, I think it's just really one thing that does stop all this is the question they're asking is, when did you stop dreaming? When did you stop like, oh, I just got someone come through and be like, of course I've got dreams. That's why I'm sitting there waiting for only that. But it's like, what Spirit's trying to ask is, I keep seeing someone waiting for something to come for them, and all the energy and effort comes from outside themselves. And it's almost like they're entitled to this or whatever it is or something. I don't know. It's just not a good energy of this. You need to take accountability inside yourself and make right now that moment. Because they keep shutting it down, they keep denying it, they keep that, but then the Sun keeps popping up. It's like, here's another opportunity, here's another chance, here's another this, here's another that. And I forget what this one was. I know it. Degaz. That's what I'm trying to remember. Oh, it had to do with protection. This one was also in reverse. This one was saying like, don't worry, you're divinely protected, everything's this. And I feel like maybe this person doesn't feel safe or protected only because they're not making the movements or following their intuition to what they think, what they're being called to do. They have this idea of how something's supposed to come about and they're sitting there waiting for it to come. Oh, it's not going to come that way. So you can sit there and you can waste your days and your effort and your everything expecting it to show up in this ship the way that you expect it to be. But in doing that, the energy is lessening. It's becoming a little bit more desperate. Victim mentality for some. And so this energy is not healthy. And it's actually lowering things to the point where this might not come because you've now raised your energy to a whole new level. This will come effortlessly and in the flow when you stay in the flow. And no matter what bumps in the road come, it's not meant to deter you. And yes, rest when you need to rest if that's what your intuition is asking you. But if your intuition is telling you like, hey, we got to go do things today, we got, focus on this, don't do this, and you're not honoring those because all you could think about is so far ahead, these things now are going to bring that. And so, yeah, I just see opportunity. It's like, nope, don't want it. I'm going to do this. And it's like, all right, well, here's another opportunity. Here's another sun card. Here's another sun card. And what's boggling my mind in this reading is that they still choose to stay in the Eight of Swords. And so what's happening on this picture, and Eight of Swords has been coming up in a lot of the readings. Eight of Swords is thinking that you're trapped. Eight of Swords is thinking that you're so bound to a situation that is toxic, you can't free yourself because it's dangerous, which makes sense with this not feeling protected. You don't feel safe. You don't feel that, but it's also because you're not out living authentically what you want to do. Let's say this boat sunk and it never did come, because you know what? Boats do sink. What would your life be like if this opportunity never came? And if that's literally the only thing you're waiting for and it's gone, you have nothing now. And now you look around yourself, you don't have the friendships, you don't have the family, you don't have the foundation. Like, those will always be the most important thing for you to honor and cherish. And yeah. And so in order to free yourself and get off that, we've got Wunjo. And all of a sudden I'm blanking. Oh, this was happiness and following delight, right? It's going to keep coming. The whole purpose of life is to follow your joy, your bliss. And I never mean it in like hedonism where you just don't think of consequences and that. I feel like this person knows consequences and weighs them very heavily to the point of being stuck and stalled because of the repercussions. So this is saying there's things that you want to go out and do and have fun right now, but you keep saying things, oh, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have the this, I don't have the this, but you're waiting for something to come. And if you don't build up that joy for when it comes, it's going to come. Let's say it doesn't sink and it still makes it. It's going to come, but it's not going to be as satisfying. It's not going to have as much joy behind it because you're not an energetic match for that. Yeah. They're showing me the scene because I'm reading The Count of Monte Cristo. And so there was the one guy and his ship got lost. And in it, you know, he owed so much money. And they were like, if you're not back by this time and all this money paid and blah, 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 blah. And so it didn't come, right? He got all these advances, never happened. It was in such a bad spot when it came to money that to him, in order to hold his honor, he thought that taking the most extreme, drastic decision into his own hands was the only way for his family to stay in society's good graces. So he was going to harm himself in order for that. And it got to like the point to the right down to the seconds even when the time was up. And then instantly everything changed. And so this whole time he focused on all that when there's all these other things around that can change everything in an instant. Ships come, ships go, but you will always be stuck with yourself. And if you're bored, it's not fun being stuck with someone who's always complaining that they're bored. So how are you going to entertain yourself? How are you going to switch things up? How are you going to go out and live today and not sit at the window waiting for something to happen? Because you're meant to go out there and make things happen. It's called co-creation. You wake up, you work with your guides, and you create something new every day. So is there anything else that I need to touch on? They're telling me to go back to this card because we've had it so consistently. Am I missing something? In this card, all the swords are by the trees. And the one he's standing on is kind of cut shorter. And what they told me was, don't compare your growth to someone else's growth. I'm getting, obviously, in like keeping up with the Joneses and things like that. But what I see is, don't compare yourself to someone else's spiritual journey. Yeah, because for some reason they're showing me someone who's being so disciplined, they think they're not meant to be. They're not meant to be that disciplined. They're meant to be more open and adventurous and creative at this part. They're not meant to be isolated and alone, and I don't even see them meditating while they're doing all this. Like, that would have been the point of working on the energy and being alone. But I don't see them doing that. They're disciplined in what ways? What ways? They show someone who's a workaholic, and so their whole life is work and what they do at work. They're disciplined in that. They're very reliable, but that's where every single energy and effort is going to. And so they see others who are kind of on the same path, but they have a bit more freedom. They're a bit more go with the flow. And so they see the leaps and bounds that they make on a soul level. And so I do see someone comparing to that and feeling like others left them and that they're here alone. Oh, maybe you saw others leave you and now you're thinking like you have to grow in order to catch up to them. Okay. Getting a little bit of chills at that. Okay. Spirit says that they're not even going to the same destination as you. So when you see people growing away from you, like they're going that way, but you're going this way. So then you might meet up with them again, but you will. That's what they told me. You will. You'll see again. But I don't know. You can't compare apples to oranges. Now we're getting even more chills. Apples and oranges, what does that even have to do with all this? The sun and the moon, they said. They said to go back to soul and talk about how the feminine in Vikings, it's a feminine energy, whereas usually in others, it's a masculine energy. Don't compare yourself to these other spiritual people that may have evolved more. Yes, you focused on work or material things more than they did. And I don't see the fulfillment in the friendships and those things. And so you can easily make new friends. I feel like you think you're meant to be up there with them, but they're going that way. They're learning something totally new. Your purpose is bigger than them, I heard. And so don't rely on the ship to fulfill you when your purpose is yours and yours alone. Others might come and help you with your purpose, but they're not dependent on your purpose. Your purpose is right now, get that flow right within yourself. Get the energy moving, get the chi or whatever you want to call it, get it pumping. Focus on yourself. Don't look to the future because it's going to happen or not happen or whatever is meant to be, and you have no control over it. But you do have control on what you do right now and how you react and what you go and do today. And today, you are not a victim of your circumstances that you chose and created for yourself. So, with that knowledge and that little, yeah, I refuse to be the victim of my own circumstances, what are you going to go do? What is the day going to bring you? For those that don't know, they always just say to go for a walk and start learning to feel that pull of where you feel drawn to go. Right? You can go if you're on paths, do you feel called to turn this way? Or if you're driving, do you ever feel like, you go on autopilot and you end up... I went on a job interview once, not too long ago, and I had to call them up and be like, I am so sorry, I'm going to be late today, because instinctively I drove to my old job. And it's like I was halfway there and I was like, oh, I'm going to the wrong part of the city. But that's how life is like you've done things so long on repetitive that you don't think. So if you can stay present, and when you're driving, where you feel called to go. And I don't know, if it brings you to a movie theater and it's just you, go watch a movie by yourself. That's what your spirit asked you to go do. Wherever you're being pulled to go. Because I see someone just sitting there, like waiting, and then now that waiting is causing doubt or it's just causing low energy. You're not, when it does come, it's going to be frantic and hectic and it's not going to flow. That's what they keep saying. Right now is your time to be so madly in love with yourself and do whatever you want to do, because this person does what everyone else wants them to do. But what do you want to do? At the center of it all, when you're out there and you're doing things that people want and you don't really enjoy it, you're like, man, I wish I was at home doing this. Remember all those times you daydreamed that? This is your moment. Go do it. Go do it. Because I keep seeing someone wasting their day, and we're in really cool times right now. So yeah, anything else, Spirit? They just want me to go and point out the well of Erd again. And remember that this well, this healing waters, these clear everything, but they're also destiny. They're telling me to read the book a bit more. So number 44, it says, magic is real. It is a force in the universe. Your power is real. You are a force in your own life. Do not dwell too long on the past, for you will miss your present and thus your opportunity to direct your future. Everything is connected, even apparently external influences which may affect us. Word flows beneath the great tree, deeply roots strengthened with the magic of destiny. I am in flux and in the flow. All circles back. Choices weave with fate. Da, da, da. Anything that touches words, waters will turn pure white like the swans that swim up to it. Mentions of the well of the word are found throughout the Eddas, and in particularly the poem Havamal, which says its waters are spread over the roots of the tree by the Norns who set down laws they choose for lives, for the sons of men and the fates of men. I don't feel like reading the rest, but yeah. So, something to do with the waters. Can you connect to the waters? And so for those like, what does that even mean? Maybe trying some visualizations. I see this person sitting at a window all the time or just sitting there. So might as well do some like meditation visualizations. And so just imagine this tree of life and go to the roots and hang out in the water. See what the water has to share with you, to especially with the roots. What in you is so deeply rooted, and what isn't, that can kind of be easily washed away. Something to think about. So yeah, you can get up, you can go out, you can go into the sun and see all the fun opportunities, or just do some inner work. Keep the flow. Just whatever's inside needs to flow. I feel like the meditation would be good sometimes, but the real advice is like, I see like spirit like really urging you to get outside and go do stuff. Whatever it is that you feel called to be or do or go. Oh, that's a message for someone. Someone keeps sitting at a window even though they do feel called to go somewhere, and they're just like, no, I'm gonna stay home. And so now there's this inner struggle because like this ship is getting away, and they're just like, I should probably call that captain and see what's going on with this situation, because you know it's almost on the horizon and out of sight. Once it's out of sight, like there's no way you're gonna catch up. So yep. All right, we'll leave it there, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and maybe we'll see you tomorrow. Bye guys.